How do I tell my sister I don't want to be her nanny anymore without it causing drama? I am not op. Original post by you, International Pair 10 in our Relationship Advice. An NBSP. How to tell my sister I don't want to be her nanny anymore without it causing drama. The 26th of November, 2022. I've been watching my sister's child for the last 2 years. My husband makes enough money that I don't have to work and I can focus on our home and our family. When my sister was pregnant, I said I'd be open to watching the baby on occasion. Somehow, on occasion, went from date nights here and there to 10-hour days 2 to 3 times a week. I admit that after 2 years I've let this get completely out of control and I should have said something sooner. But there is really no nice way to tell someone that I don't want to watch their child for any reason other than I just don't want to. I have so much anxiety over having to get up at 6 a.m. to show up at their house to babysit that I literally can't sleep, so then I end up not sleeping at all and then watching the baby for 10 hours. My sister is now talking about having a second baby and gushing every chance she gets about how appreciative she is for my help because of all the money I'm saving them, and I just about had a panic attack when I realized not only does she expect this to continue for a significant amount of time, but she's fully going to expect me to watch a toddler and newborn, and meanwhile I've been contemplating how I can get out of this situation without drama. My husband works his ass off so that I can be home with our family, not so I can be a nanny for my sister. And to make matters worse, my sister just bought an extravagant new house, which she probably did in part because she didn't think she'd have to worry about childcare. But I just don't want to do it anymore. At all. I love my niece, but I absolutely do not want to be her or anyone else's nanny. My sister and her husband have a very different parenting style than I do. They're very fussy, and they don't even leave a car seat, so I'm literally stranded there all day. If something happens with my own child, I literally can't leave at all. I feel trapped in this situation and I just want it to be over. I sent her a text, just waiting for her response. It won't let me add the screenshot for some reason. I just wanted to give you a heads up that after December I won't be watching anymore in a childcare role. This way you guys have time to get other arrangements worked out. Nothing is wrong. I'm just shifting my focus to my household. I know you guys appreciated my help. Thanks so much for being understanding and supporting me now. Update. I'm quite taken aback by this. May I ask why? I just need to take a step back for my mental health. This is just very out of the blue. You didn't say anything on the phone yesterday. I wanted to say this yesterday, but I didn't because this subject has been a source of anxiety for me. How so? It is just difficult for me to simultaneously manage my household and yours. I can watch her until the end of deck, but after that I can't. I love you and her, but I really can't take care of 2 households. I'm only one person. And I definitely can't take care of another baby on top of that. It's too much for me. Please understanding and don't take it personally. I really don't want to fight about this. This is just how it needs to be. So you will watch her until the end of December and then I just have to drop her off with complete strangers. Got it. She left me on read for 20 minutes before sending me that last text. Update. I told our dad what happened and he apparently called her up and reamed her out on my behalf, and she's been quiet ever since. An NBSP. I'm tired of being my sister's nanny. Update. The 30th of November 2022. I texted my sister one final time yesterday to see if she needed me this week. Friday were my usual days. Since she hasn't been responding to me since I let her know our current arrangement was no longer sustainable. She left me on read until 11:30 p.m. before texting me, "Don't worry about it." So I guess I'm off the hook. even though she's clearly very angry at me, as I knew she would be. I appreciate all the encouragement and advice I received from all of you. It really helped me get the courage to finally have this conversation that should have happened months ago. I do hope my sister doesn't withhold my niece from me for too long, because I would still like to visit with her and take her to do things. I just didn't want to be their default childcare provider, which is not at all unreasonable of me. An NBSP. Reminder: I am not the original poster. I completely understand. I'll find other arrangements for my child. I am so appreciative of the time you spent helping us. It was a gift. Thank you. There. Not so hard, is it? Talk about entitlement. She helped her sister for 2 years, and she was turned into the bad guy. That's just sad. Maybe it's BC. I've been on BORU for so long. I was expecting the update to be, my sister broke into my home to force me to take care of her child. Cops called. That's terrible. 2 years of free childcare saved the sister an absolute fortune. She really screwed herself too, because had she responded that she understood and really appreciated the last 2 years, I'm sure Oop would have been flexible on the end date. Like if she came back after a week and said, I found a daycare but they can't take her until March. It probably would have been fine. My sibling had a hell of a time finding a reputable place that had an opening at any point in the near future for my niece. Now the sister is stuck figuring out what to do in between. Should be added in our entitled people. Nobody feels more entitled to your time than family. Glad Oop managed to successfully set some boundaries. Sister probably made bigger plans than just the house, and was counting on that money that wasn't going to be going to childcare. To me, the worst part about the total ungratefulness of the sister is that for 2 years Oop went to her sister's house to watch the baby. Which begs the question, who was taking care of OOP's children? Why couldn't the sister be bothered to take her child to OOP's house and pick her up? Instead, she left Oop basically trapped in her house for hours a day with no way to transport the child in case of an emergency. My aunt used to babysit her various nibblings many a year ago, but the kids were always dropped off and picked up at her house, which I would think would be the least someone can do in that scenario. Just like people who always borrow money. As soon as you stop giving, they flip on you so quick. Then you realize it was never a real relation. You're just being used. So was Oop just a doormat? Thinking face. Why the F did sis think Oop watching her kid for free for 2 years during COVID times was okay? I mean, I guess 'cause entitled, but yeesh. It's not like Oop was a retired grandma watching her grandkids for free 'cause she wanted to. Did sis think this was going to go in forever? My brother somehow got this sense of entitlement after his child was born. I wasn't working at the time and ended up watching her for much of her first year because she kept catching the plague at daycare. I would drive 45 minutes each way to his house and barely get a thank you, let alone gas money. He left me a car seat exactly once, when he also asked me to drop his dog off at the groomers. I finally decided if I was going to work full-time, I might as well be getting paid, and stopped watching her to go back to work. 2 weeks into my brand new job, he asked me to take time off to watch my niece so he didn't have to use his PTO. I've got 2 of my own now and very rarely ask any of my family members to watch either of my kids, because I remember how used I felt during that time period. She left me on read until 11:30 p.m. before texting me, "Don't worry about it." Oh look. It's my favorite kind of problem, the self-resolving one, i.e. one that solved itself. Or in this case, the sister solved the problem by cutting contact. I'm glad Oop is out of that situation. Although her relationship with sister may never be same. Not that that's a bad thing. Of course. I didn't see anything about pay? What? When someone shows you who you are, believe them. The sister knew what she was doing. She knew the guilt she was putting on Oop. She can hire a nanny with all the money she has saved. If the guilt trip response was what was said to me, then I would have said after this week since. You're clearly unappreciative of my assistance. Oop should have never taken care of the kid. 2 years of help and there is no gratitude. Only shade and resistance. Shows how much OOP's sister values their relationship as sisters. Nannies get paid. Oop was an unpaid servant. Her sister has some nerve. OOP's sister. I can't take advantage of your free time anymore? How dare you? Glad their dad called her on the carpet for it. Those complete strangers can be amazing. My kids' daycare teachers were wonderful. Oop's sister took her for granted big time. The absolute entitlement face with rolling eyes. OOP's sister is a bit entitled for free daycare and should be thanking her sister for all she did for her, instead of being a BTCH. I had this happen with my best friend kinda. I was willing to watch him while she went back to work, but I was thinking part-time. She went back full-time. I'm disabled, and it really destroyed my health. I don't regret it at all. We both joke I'm second mommy, and we're still super close. But at a certain point I said, I'm sorry, but I can't do it anymore. She didn't get mad, and we worked together to get him into daycare. Eventually she was able to quit and be a stay-at-home mom. When you're reasonable, there isn't a problem.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.